The Women's Self-Help Podcast is a place where women can go to find support, information, and tools they need to take control of their own health. We discuss the needs of women so you can become your own self-help guru. From how to manage your stress, eating for effective weight loss, real talk on self-image, maintaining lifelong health, and healthy aging, we cover it all. Be sure to visit womensSSHH.com for more information on everything discussed in today's episode.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Women's Self-Help Podcast. In this episode, I am joined by Samantha from Health and Fitness Travel Australia. In this episode, we dive into the importance of a health and wellness holiday and what it can do for your life. We look at some of the best locations worldwide to take a health and wellness holiday, some of the most popular retreats, and also some of the most popular methods for weight loss, detox, stress relief, and also some family holiday options as well. For more information on upcoming episodes, and just to leave a comment or any questions, head over to our website, www.womensselfhelppodcast, that's women's shp.info/subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Welcome to another episode of the Women's Self-Help Podcast. Today we are joined by Samantha from Health and Fitness Travel Australia. Health and Fitness Travel is a luxury wellness travel company that specialises in exceptional healthy holidays all around the world. Thanks so much for joining us today, Samantha.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Can you just start by telling us a little bit about your background and how you got into the travel industry?
Absolutely. Well, I'm just trying to think how far back to start. I've been in the travel industry for quite a long time. I was actually just trying to think about how long ago that was. I probably don't want to share. I might give away my age. As a retail travel agent, I've always loved travel. My background is that my dad was in the army and I started traveling when I was very young. So I've been in the travel industry, I'm going to say it's probably since it was 2000 and something in the early years there. But I only started working in the wellness travel industry about 5 years ago.
And what made you want to start health and fitness travel? Obviously you're into health and fitness yourself, but what made you want to start that as a separate entity of sort of other health and fitness travel or other travel companies that are out there?
Yeah, no, so I guess I took a personal interest in the wellness for myself. And I think it's a very common thing when people kind of discover, sort of healthy living, they really want to integrate it into other parts of their life. So I did what a lot of people do is sort of went away and I got quite fit myself, and then I went and became a personal trainer. And I started thinking about how I could integrate the personal training with my own my love for the travel industry. And I thought I would take people off and do my own retreats. I was actually going to set myself up in the South Pacific, take people off every month, go out to Vanuatu and Fiji and, sort of run the retreat there. And I thought that would be the life. I would take them off and do that. But I realized when I was setting that business up that there wasn't anywhere in Australia to advertise those types of retreats. And I guess I discovered that there was more of an opportunity because you could see that everyone was thinking about health and wellness. Everyone was talking about the latest, fun run that they were doing, or they were, taking Instagram photos of their green juices. And there was a real rise in the health and wellness sort of area, and I think in people just taking responsibility for their own health. But there was nowhere to advertise these types of holidays. So that was what really made me discover that there was an opportunity to get into that space. And I did a bit of research around the world. I saw that in a lot of other places, particularly in the UK and Europe, this was already much bigger thing than we see here in Australia. So much more common to go on a holiday specifically for your health and well-being. And I realized that with my background in the travel industry as well, that there was an opportunity to create this new industry here in Australia.
And so once you found or discovered that gap in the market, can you just kind of run us through what was the process in getting it up and running and started here in Australia?
So it was quite a process, to be able to go out and set up a travel agency in Australia. When I first started wanting to do that, there was a lot of red tape. The first thing really actually was trying to find those retreats that wanted to work with me. Being that I had great ideas and lots of big ambitions, but I was really unknown to these great retreats that have been around for many years. Many of our partners have, they've been 10, 20 years in business, and they do want to find those new channels, but they want to make sure that they're not giving up their reputations to work with unknown entities. So that was probably the biggest challenge initially, was trying, everyone wanted to be a part of it, but they didn't want to be first. So they would often say to me, once you've got someone else on board, come back to me. And that was really hard to sort of get that, sort of breakthrough there. Was also, wanting to set up a fantastic website. I knew that we really had to be the industry leader because we were going to be the only person, the only business here in Australia. And so there was obviously some financial constraints around setting this up. So there was quite a lot of challenges around setting the business up to overcome. So it did take some time, but what I actually ended up doing was collaborating with the business, an existing business in the UK called Health and Fitness Travel. We've kept the same name. As I say, it very clearly says what we do. And I didn't know my now business partners. I actually approached them via LinkedIn. I got in touch. I had done a lot of research and I was able to share a lot of that with them to sort of get them interested in talking to me. But at the time, they were like, well, you're on the other side of the world and we don't know you. And so it did take a bit of effort on my half to really show them that I was serious. And the thing that actually sort of clinched the deal for us is that I bought the Australian domain, which cost me about $12. And I sat on that for about 6 months, and one of my now partners got back in touch with me, and he said, "Did you buy this?" And I said, "I did." And he said, "Well, can I have it back?" I said, only if my name's on the paperwork, because it's the only thing that stops you from coming into the space, and we absolutely need it if we're going to work together. And I think that was what really made them realize that I was really serious. And it's funny to think that sort of $12 decision might have been the difference between getting the business off the ground or not here in Australia.
And so once you had those business partners on board over in the UK, did that make it easier to get the partners here in Australia on board with the different retreats you were looking at as well?
Yeah, so once we actually had the existing business in the UK, we were able to then go out and talk to, basically, here in Australia, it was quite a new concept. So it did take a little bit of convincing, but it certainly helped to have those, amazing global retreats on board as a partner. Once you can show that you've got so many partners, everybody else just wants to be a part of it as well. So, nowadays we never have any issues. Everyone that has a really great retreat, in fact, more people than we can possibly partner with want to be a part of Health and Fitness Travel. And, so it's such a different place to be, having that backing as well.
And when you were looking to get the first partner on board, was that looking into what the Health and Fitness Travel in the UK had been successful with and going along that route? Or through your own research, had you kind of found what was the best niche to start off with in terms of either yoga retreats or a detox holiday or weight loss? Where was the first avenue that you went down when looking for the first partner?
Yeah, so with the UK, we did inherit a lot of fantastic retreats, but as Health and Fitness Travel, we have our own criteria for our partners just to make sure that we do stand out. So, probably a little bit like it's in the name, but all of our retreats have to have both health and fitness aspects. So we won't just partner with someone who only offers spa retreats or only offers yoga retreats or perhaps specializes in something like Ayurvedic treatment. Unless they're a particularly exceptional retreat, then they have to have a real range for our guests. So, they've got to be able to offer fitness classes, they've got to be able to offer different levels of programming, really to treat different preferences for clients. And because a lot of our clients will travel because something is going on in their life and something that they want to actually, get a result with. They've got a goal in mind. And so we really wanted to have those options with the retreats that we work with. So they've got to have more than just a spa and a gym and some, sort of good treatments. They've really got to have those programs. Although we are starting to add more activity-based holidays this year as well, really seeing a surge in activities like kite surfing and those sorts of things, so cycling, but really they've got to really come up to our criteria to be a partner now.
And so what was the first partner that came on board here in Australia?
First one in Australia, I think, was the Golden Door, actually. And I love their team at the Golden Door. They're really fabulous. It's quite different, the experience in the retreats in Australia compared to overseas. So they follow more of a program. They do one program and sort of have everyone go through that. They've really defined what experience it's about, whereas you might find that some of the retreats overseas are more bespoke for the individuals.
Okay. And so with the Golden Retreat, what's sort of, how many retreats a year do they kind of run, and how many people do you kind of get going to that one? Is that still one of, your most popular being the first one?
I was going to say, so Golden Door, they run retreats continuously. So you can start there either, I think, 3 times a week on a Sunday, Wednesday, and it might be on a Monday as well. So their retreats are ongoing all throughout the year, which is fantastic. However, most of our guests actually do travel overseas. I think it's just a little bit to do with the value and even just the hospitality over mostly in Asia, so mostly in Bali and Thailand, sort of heading out there. But also I think it's just a little bit about being able to say you've gone off on a tropical holiday. And I love the Golden Door, but it is in the middle of the Hunter Valley. So you're at this lovely retreat, looking out at all the wineries.
Oh, very nice.
Makes you feel extra healthy, actually, just sitting up there being healthy while watching everyone out drinking wine.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you've got this criteria when you're looking to add new partners. So obviously you probably have no trouble with requests now, but what is the sort of criteria that you're looking at when you have someone kind of approach you to become a partner with Health and Fitness Travel?
Yeah, so as you look, I mean, one of the biggest things is to try to make sure that we have a need for their particular offering. So we don't try to have too many competing partners in the same space. That way we can really build a great relationship with the partners that we do have, which really helps us to give a great customer experience, because the better our relationship is with the hotel, the better, offerings we can give to our clients. And that's one of the things that we try to do as well, is to have some exclusive, offers at all of the retreats that we partner with. So looking for them to give our clients, room upgrades and extra treatments and things like that, just so they get that real special attention. At the hotel itself, we do look for a luxury level of accommodation. So we probably won't find anything below sort of a 4-star in regards to our partners. And that's really been driven by our clients and their expectations. I think when you go off on a wellness holiday, you expect to be pampered, expect to be looked after, and you should. I think for a while people thought that going on healthy holidays meant missing out, and sort of more boot camps and green juices and those elements are still there. Doesn't mean that you can't go off and enjoy yourself and enjoy being healthy. But yeah, other than that, as I said, what we spoke about before in regards to having a really good facilities and having a range of programs that they can offer. And we love it when they've got visiting specialists, a lot of really great practitioners coming through. But yeah, as I said, lots of different elements go into really making sure we get the right products.
And so of all of your different types of retreats, we'll just kind of go through the different types that you have and where you would recommend kind of around the world are your most popular or the best quality. So if we're looking for someone that was wanting to go to, say, specifically focusing on yoga, I know, like you said, all the retreats have like lots of different elements, both health and fitness. But if they're looking more of a focus on yoga, where would you recommend?
So the great thing about yoga is nowadays it's so commonplace that it would be in at least, I would say, 95% of the retreat. And a lot of them do offer yoga-focused programs as well. Probably my personal pick for yoga, it would depend on the level that you were practicing at, but I would say Ananda in the Himalayas. So going back to the birthplace of yoga, you can't go past that. Yeah, that would probably be my pick for yoga.
And so what does that retreat offer? What's the main, kind of calling points of that retreat?
So as you say, Ananda is in the Himalayas. It is a very famous hotel. Gosh, as I said, the views from there are incredible. It's, sort of very luxurious, very much an Ayurvedic focus. So lots of Ayurvedic spa treatments and really individualized therapy. Obviously say with the yoga, the teachers there are just incredible. So it's really, if you're a regular yogi and you're wanting to sort of really extend your practice, that would be the place to go.
And so do they do different types of practices, or they focus more on one specific type of yoga?
Obviously, they would be able to take you through all the different types. I haven't visited myself. This is one of the ones on my must-visit list. But I think the main focus there is Hatha yoga. However, they've got the teachers there are very well educated and be able to take you through, whatever your sort of preference is in practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What about spa holidays? I'm sure you get quite a lot of requests from those fellow people when they're really needing to relax a little bit. So where's your recommendation for a spa-focused holiday?
So as you say, again, beautiful spas at many of our retreats. We actually have some fantastic new Six Senses partners this year as well. But my personal favorite would probably be Fusion Maya in Vietnam, only because it is a spa all-inclusive retreat. So what that means is that all of your spa therapies are included. And so you get a minimum of 3 guaranteed every day, 3 treatments. However, once you've had your 3, you can go back and put your name down for extra treatments if there's available time during the day, or you've got the available time. and there's no extra charge. So as many spa treatments as you can possibly have on that day, you can go ahead and do that. So very, very nice concept there. And you also have a private pool villa. All of the rooms are private pool villas, so you can go and sort of relax there in between your therapies. And it's right on a white sandy beach, so I don't think you can go past that for spas.
Absolutely not. And what about people that are wanting to go down more of the detox and weight loss route? Where would you recommend for that?
So we get a lot of guests traveling out to, as we said, there's two different angles for that. One, we have a retreat in Phuket called Phuket Cleanse, and they do a very comprehensive detox program, but it's more of an active detox. And so what I mean by that is that you're eating really lovely, raw, healthy food, but you're also being very active. So they have a really comprehensive schedule of activities. So even though you're eating really lovely, cleansing food, you're still being sort of given enough to make sure that you can get through the day and do Muay Thai and do hot yoga and do all of those things that really help to get all the systems going in the body and help you cleanse that way. So, that's a really great location. We see lots of really good results there. And it's really good for people that want to be more active, because when you've got really those two options with detox. A lot of time when you're detoxing, you're not taking in a lot of calories. You're not, eating very much. So you're more likely to be doing your spa and your yoga therapies and things like that and keeping it very down tempo. But there are other ways to detox the body through that sweating and just being active. And Phuket Cleanse really allows for that. They actually do allow you to do both. You can make your own adventure there, which I love. But you can then do that cleanse and be detoxing without having to just sit around and kind of wait for it to happen. So I think that's a really good one. And then for weight loss, we actually send a lot of people out to Kamalaya in Koh Samui. And we send a lot of people to Kamalaya. Actually, it's one of our top locations just in general. They are really fantastic. They offer about 12 different programs, everything from weight loss to sleep. They do a great yoga program there as well, actually. But they have a fantastic menu, and everyone raves about the food there, but it is very popular for their weight loss programs and things there.
And what about sort of if you have people in families or even individuals, ladies looking for a holiday that's a little bit more on the active side? You mentioned the kiteboarding and some of those water sports. Where would you recommend when someone's looking for more of the active holiday?
So we have a really great retreat again in Phuket called Tanapura. And it is actually a huge, it's almost like a Olympic village with sunshine and palm trees is the way that I explain it. And it is just out of this world, the facilities that they have there. They've got, they've got a rugby field and 6 undercover tennis courts, and it's got a little tickle in my throat. They have just everything. They have 2 gyms, actually some of the largest gyms that I've seen in the world, one dedicated just to their weights area, another side with cardio. They do, I think, about 80 classes a week, everything from your dance classes to your spin classes. They have a full boxing stadium. They really, if you are interested in anything to do with fitness, this is the perfect place to go.
Perfect. That sounds excellent. I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially Phuket being so close to Australia, it makes it easier to have that longer time at your retreat than some of these places, obviously, that are further away and takes longer to get there if you've only got a short break available. So that's excellent.
No, that's right. If you've got somewhere you can go direct. And Tanapura does do family holidays. So we do have a few locations. I think most people think when they think of healthy holidays, they don't necessarily think of families, but a few of the different retreats will accommodate families, with kids clubs and some, even like Tanapura does kids mini triathlons and things like that as well. So the whole family can be active.
And so obviously putting together all of these holidays and going with the partners and getting such great locations and going through the criteria to make sure they're of that high standard does take a lot of work and a lot of time. So you've got a great team that work with you as well. So can you just kind of explain a bit of the behind the scenes about what goes into partnering up these locations and putting all the packages together for your clients that come to you?
Yeah, so as you say, you're absolutely right. It is not something that can be done alone. So we have a team in the UK. We actually have a support team in Manila, and then myself as well. And the team here in Australia are all of our sales consultants. And they're the ones looking after the guests that are coming in. But we have a lot of people behind the scenes making sure that we're putting all of those products together. And it can take a really long time actually to find and assess the partners and to build up all of the information that we need. And then it's just a full-time job actually staying on top of all of the product, keeping the website up to date. We're currently building a new website as well, so that should be launched by the end of this month, fingers crossed, if not early next month, really just to get more information into the hands of the customers so that they can make their decisions and find the right place. I think that's really key to getting people to the right location. But, in-house we have, I was going to say, we've got a full PR and marketing team, we've got an administrative team, we've got website developers. It takes an army to sort of put together a business. And the big thing for me is being able to outsource a lot of those tasks. There was a time not that long ago that a lot of those roles fell to me. And, I was doing things that I didn't have the skill set for, which made it really slow. And the effort's not as good. So to be able to bring in people who are better than you in particular aspects of the company just helps it to come along in leaps and bounds.
Absolutely, it does. You need those team of people. I mean, I even know myself that when you're doing things all yourself, it gets hard after a time. Definitely does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to say, my design skills as an example, I sort of think back to the early days when I would put together flyers or information for social media and things, and it just, at the time I was quite proud of my efforts, but now it just looks like someone was doing, finger painting compared to Picasso.
And so what then, when you've stepped back from a few of those roles, so what does your kind of average day look for you like then, if you've stepped back from those roles and focusing on a different area of the business?
I was going to say, an average day, I don't know if there is such a thing. I mean, really for me, I guess it's overseeing all of the different aspects of the company. I still have my finger on the pulse in all the different areas. So a lot of my time now is taken up with really trying to manage those partner relationships, looking for new products, and then really supporting the team. So I do a lot of training with our new associates. We have a network of travel agents who are all being trained as wellness specialists, and I'm available for them all the time. So it might be, sort of going through them with some role plays or helping to assist them with some client inquiries. I do still have some of my own clients I have, sort of from the very start that come back to us regularly. So I might still be consulting on a regular day, or I might be meeting with business partners, or if I'm really lucky, I might be out visiting one of our retreats and, writing reviews and those sort of things as well. So the average day, I'm not sure that exists, but certainly keeps me busy.
Absolutely. I know I'm the same. When you're in business, there's no real average day. Everything changes, doesn't it?
It is. I was going to say, you just have to do whatever you have to do, Some days some days that's just IT support. I think that's probably the one thing that I missed for the longest time is, there used to be a time when you could call a department to come down and fix people's computers and
yes,
work out why the website's not working. And obviously we do have those people, but sometimes, you've just got to roll up your sleeves and try and work it out yourself if it's a particularly timely incident or something like that as well. So yes, you do become a bit of a master of all.
You do. I think once you can become business owner / IT support / web developer / 10 other things, marketing, sales.
Yeah, I was going to say marketing, sales / cleaner / it's definitely when you're, I was going to say you completely understand when you run your own business, you just do what's got to get done.
Yeah, you do. And talking about them, there is some benefits to running your own business as well, which you just mentioned, which is actually getting to visit some of these wonderful retreats. So what ones have you visited and what's been your favorite?
So I was going to say there's no way to say this without making you a little bit jealous, but I have been to visit most of the retreats in this side of the world. I probably won't run through all the ones that I have visited because we might be here for a little while. But I love Como Tambala in Bali. It's probably one of my absolute favorites. And I'm actually headed there next week. I'm very much looking forward to getting back. I'm taking my younger sister on a little baby moon. She's due to have her second baby in a few months. So we are headed over for a spa break there. And it is just divine. It's something quite ethereal about going into their lobby there. You feel like you've arrived in heaven. Yeah, I was going to say, I really am looking forward to visiting. They do everything there is just really 5-star. They make sure that the gardens are hand manicured so that you're not interrupted by the sound of machinery, and you have a personal assistant who pops up to let you know that your massage is about to happen. And yeah,
very nice.
It's really, really lovely. Love that one. And they do a great range of programs there. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go and do a detox or a fitness program, or maybe just stay with their destress rejuvenation program. But they have such good option. So that is absolutely high on my list. I also really love Araha, which is just across the ditch in New Zealand. I visited there a few years ago with my husband, who is from New Zealand. He absolutely loved it as well. Each day you get to go out and hike in, just the most incredible scenery, get your daily massages. You start each morning in a beautiful yoga room that overlooks beautiful, glacial lake. It's really quite something special. So that one is up on the top of my list as well. Hope to get to go. We actually visited in winter, and there was some snow on the ground while we were there, and it was pretty incredible. I'd love to also go back and do it again in summer, because you get to go down and do some hiking on the lake. And New Zealand is a beautiful place at the best of times. So, and I love Kamalai, which we talked a little bit about earlier. I actually visited again last year. So those are probably my top 3. But I am headed off to visit a few more retreats soon in Thailand. So I'll let you know if I have got any new updates to that list.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, I love New Zealand as well. I've got friends that live over there, and it's so close to Australia, but so different, and a very, very pretty country.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I love visiting.
So when you get inquiries from either new clients or new consults coming in about a trip that they might be wanting to book within Australia, what's the kind of most common request? Is it mostly for your ones in Asia and Bali, or where's the most common areas that they want to travel to?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Most of our guests generally will head out to Thailand. We do get a few inquiries for Bali, but I think Thailand would be the first place that we go. That just being because of the range of hotels that there are there and the types of things that people are looking for. From Australia, most of our guests are actually just really stressed out, and it's funny because they might come and they inquire about a detox. But once we've done a bit of a consultation with them, we usually find that it's not a detox they're after, it's a de-stress, because they are overwhelmed by life and they've been overdoing everything. And they think that a detox is kind of, I guess the idea is they just kind of take everything away and it'll be calming. But actually we say to them, a detox can be, depending on the level of detoxing that you're doing, but if you just suddenly change everything in your life, and that's also very overwhelming. So it's like, maybe you actually just need to go away and, have a good sleep and have good food and do some exercise and just kind of, take care of yourself. But you don't necessarily need to go away and do green juices and colonics, So, yeah, we do really find that people we're so connected, we're so stressed, where we drink so much, just in a day-to-day sort of lifestyle. We just need that time out, a little time out for our mental health and physical health. And people just come back and they're glowing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really important you've made that distinction there between the detox and the de-stressing, because they are quite different. And yeah, I think people do have that kind of misconception in a way that if they detox, that's actually going to make them feel better. But in fact, if they're super stressed, sometimes a detox can actually add more stress to their body, because it's a different type of stressor using that restriction. So, I mean,
yeah,
would you say...
it's like a punishment, I think, when they think of it that way. They're like, I've been being bad, so now I have to, make up for it. And it's like, no, a detox, when done properly, should be, again, something that you're sort of using to benefit your body, not to punish yourself because you've been overeating or you've been, drinking too much or anything like that. Like, it's not a quick fix. Yeah.
No, yeah. Would you almost say, like, I would almost go to say that going on a de-stress retreat and then going on a detox one after, once you've de-stressed, is probably a really good thing to do, actually, in that combination.
I think you're right. I was going to say, I mean, we can, and people can do that too. We can sort of recommend to them. You could start, by doing one program and switch to another. With some of the retreats, they actually allow you to, to decide when you arrive. And some of, as I say, in some cases, the retreats won't actually allow guests to do detoxes if they meet, if they sort of fall outside of a certain criteria, just because they know that it will put extra stress on that person's body or mental state. So, they really will assess them when they get there. But yeah, no, it's just kind of letting them think about the fact that what they're doing is, is to take care of themselves, not to punish themselves.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And it's really great that they have those assessment measures in place. With your de-stress holidays, do they have any elements besides those kind of assessments that, take into account the emotional and mental health aspects of the de-stress holiday?
Yeah, so it will depend on the different offerings. There's different levels of, I guess, the de-stress holidays as opposed to emotional balance. There definitely has been an increase in mental health awareness, particularly in Australia in the last 12 to 18 months, which is really fantastic. And, sort of taking people off. And some of the holidays are really, it's about teaching breathing exercises and mindfulness and really participating in things like yoga, just to connect the mind and body. And then there are some of the retreats where there's counseling or there's life coaching or, there's different elements. So it will depend on what the person's trying to achieve. There is one program at Camellia, it's called, I think it's embracing emotional change. And the idea is if you're going through something, maybe a bereavement or a redundancy or a breakup, that you can go and actually go through that program. And they have really great life coaches there who, help you to sort of assess where you're at and then, what you need to actually do to move through that situation. So yeah, it just depends on what the client needs.
And so when one of your clients has a consultation, roughly sort of how long is the first consultation they have with Health and Fitness Travel, and what are you looking for in terms of deciding where you would send them and what kind of trip is best for them? Do they always come with something in mind, or do people often come to you asking for your opinion as well?
Yeah, so it really depends. It's as unique as the individual. Most people that get in touch with us have spent quite a bit of time on the website. I think, they've been daydreaming, they've been looking at the different retreats, they've kind of got an idea in mind, and they'll usually get in touch about a particular location. However, we never assume that that's, where they are definitely going to go. We always give them a call whenever we get an inquiry so that we can have a phone conversation with them. And some people really just, they just want to go where they just want to go, and they're not ready particularly to share that information. However, we try to ask a range of probing questions so that we can, really get to know the customer and understand what they're looking for. And so the idea there is more than just a regular consultation for a travel holiday. It's trying to understand their goals, their drivers, what's happened. Usually there's some sort of motivator. As I said before, some of the ones, they may be not necessarily negative, but a change in life or a significant birthday, there might be a health scare for themselves or somebody close to them, or it might be to celebrate something. We actually saw last year an uplift in mothers taking their daughters off on post-HSC trips, to sort of celebrate that experience, and also, I guess, so they could de-stress after the exams.
Absolutely, that's such a great idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was really lovely. I thought that would be I definitely would have loved that, to be able to go off and do that with my mum and sort of have that experience. So we see baby moons, we see anniversaries, all sorts of things. But yeah, just trying to understand why people are traveling is a big thing. And some people will just really open up and tell you so much about their life.
Yeah, because it's a really personal thing, booking a holiday, I suppose. And the reasons for booking the holiday are often a really personal thing, because especially if you're looking at a health and wellness being wellness holidays, that there's usually a reason why someone wants a wellness holiday.
That's right. I mean, it's an investment in their health and well-being. So there's some reason that they're booking it. When they've been on one, then it's just because they know how amazing they can feel and they want to do it again. But the very first one, there's usually some reason why they've made that decision to go on that type of holiday.
And so if there's ladies out there that want to find where they can go to find more information about the trips that you have and to book a holiday with you, where can they go to?
I was just saying, well, it's very easy. They can go to healthandfitnesstravel.com.au.
Perfect. And you're on Instagram and Facebook as well?
We are. So you'll definitely be able to find us on there. I think our handle is HFTAUS or something like that. Very simple, but I'm sure if you little Google, you'll be able to find us on there.
Perfect. And just to get to know you a little bit better, so you're the brains behind this Health and Fitness Travel, so we want to get to know you a little bit better as well. So I was going to ask a couple of questions here. What's your favourite word?
I had a little bit of a think about this because I know you shared it earlier, but definitely holidays.
Absolutely, of course. I think that's everyone's favourite word. When are they coming up? And what sound or noise do you love?
This one's going to be a little bit cliche, but I love the sound of the ocean. So when you walk up to the beach and you hear the waves crashing onto the ocean, it's my absolute favourite sound in the world. Yeah,
I think that's mine too. A good storm's a good one as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
When you're inside, though,
Yeah. Looking over the ocean.
And if you weren't running Health and Fitness Travel here in Australia, what else would you like to be doing?
So I I was going to say, I've always kind of harbored the dream, I guess the secret dream of maybe being a comedian. I love to make people laugh. My friends would probably tell you I am a bit of a comedian, but I guess I just don't get up on stage and do it. But I also really love narrating things. So I love to be the voiceover. But I always do it in my head. I don't know if you've ever walked up to, in a museum or, something like that, and you're reading the sign. I'm always reading it a little bit like David Attenborough in my head, I think. So I think that would be a fun job to do too.
Oh, very nice. I can just picture you walking down the street now with that going through your head.
All the time.
Very good. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great just having a bit of a chat about all the amazing holidays that you offer as well.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely to speak with you too.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Women's Self-Help Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us reach more ladies out there, please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. For all the latest updates on upcoming episodes and who you'd like to appear on the show, head over to our website, www.womensselfhelppodcast.info/subscribe. You can also head over to our Facebook page, the Women's Self-Help Podcast, or send us an email, womensselfhelppodcast@kmjgroupfitness.com, with any questions or suggestions for guests. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.